You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, they were,
Definitely.
but like, you probably blend in with some of the girls there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like,
blend in. They look older than me. I mean,
what's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna have a really good topic coming to you guys today. We're taking it back to grade school. We're talking about education. I got my girl Mal. Well, you'll meet her when I snap her. Let me snap her.
Boy, I'm right here. What's up?
So you're just gonna mess up my snap like that? Wow.
Yes.
Well, I gotta snap somebody. So we snapping something.
Okay.
On count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Really? Oh yeah. All we did was switch sides. If you don't switch us back.
Happy now?
Yes. Good side.
Every morning you have 2 choices. Continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. On this channel, we're choosing to chase them. I'm connecting with some pretty cool dream chasers and getting all in their business. They say millennials always have something to say. I don't know. Let's talk about it.
So, when I was in school, certain things are going to be the same. Math is still the same, whatever. But the experience, I feel like we looked like kids. We followed the kid trends. Like, I don't think social media was super, super big back then. So it wasn't like the pressures to do whatever. But now?
Oh God, it's a whole nother ballgame. Like, you have the cyberbullying. Like, back in the day, you were being put in the trash can. Now you're being exploited on social media, which is crazy to me. The kids, all type of things, sexuality, everything on social media. That's their way of life, is through social media.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of the teachers have even incorporated social media in the lessons, like getting people involved, doing lessons through Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, just to keep students engaged. So it's a whole nother ball game today, the kids.
So as a student, okay, for me, like, I'm thinking back in the school days where like you looked like a student.
Yeah.
Where, when I was 15, I looked 15. Well, I had some height on me, but even the tall kids still looked 15 to a certain degree. You know what I mean? But now,
oh God,
the 15-year-old girls look 26. The guys look, like, is there anything that, and this more so what I want to talk about is the babysitting versus teaching aspect, right? Because I think as a teacher, you're a little bit of a mentor, right? You're like a little bit of like, an example. However, there's some lessons to be learned here, right?
Yes.
So how do you balance, okay, sweetheart, you don't have to do the supermost with the eyelashes and the lipstick and whatever else that we're doing at 14. How do you balance that along with lesson plan, along with getting to make sure they understand it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's just like one of the biggest, like the touchiest things, like as a teacher, because it's like at the end of the day, the curriculum and the academics is important. But at the same time, especially as a woman looking at female students, I understand too that the way you carry yourself is so important. Because you can have the brains, but if you're not carrying yourself, in the way that you should, that can come off, and people don't even they're not even looking at your qualifications as far as like what they're looking at presentation. And so one of the things that I try to do just going into the school is watching how I dress. I've never been a person of like lashes and all that stuff anyway, but just showing them that you can be natural and still be beautiful and still be accepted, if that makes sense. And so I just try to lead by example. A lot of the girls though, there's a lot of resistance as far as that mentor piece. I know when I was in school, we looked up.
We wanted mentors.
Yeah, we wanted.
Please mentor me. Like, please mentor me. Like, please mentor me. Like. So do you feel like, and I wanted to talk about this later, but now I guess I'll talk about it now. Do you feel like all these school shootings we're hearing about, left and right? So do you feel like there's anything that teachers or the school system can do on the front end to prevent any of that? Like,
so this is what I've seen my school do in particular. My school is actually in a commercial building, so there's 11 stories. So our school is actually perfect for someone that would like to come in and do, like a mass shooting. So one of the things that we did was just crack down on security. The kids go through bag check, security check every morning. It was a hassle at first, but I think parents were really involved just to know that their children were safe. So I think that's something that school systems are doing on the front end, and then more training to the school resource officers. putting them through training. I know they've taken the teachers through training, so that's been really good on what to do, what that protocol looks like if something were to happen in the schools.
Let's talk school system. Do you feel like the school system puts teachers, children, parents, the whole community in place for kids to succeed? Like, do you feel like it's set up for kids to win? And if it is, are they winning holistically, right? Because again, it's about the person. It's about being, even in college, right? We have people who graduated, maybe with honors, who are still looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you weren't prepared holistically. Do you feel like it's preparing them holistically, the school system?
I will say this. I think that the school system has things in place that will allow students to be successful, but I think it's up to that student to really take a hold of it. But one of the things that I will say that I think the school system could do better is just, as far as when we talk about holistic, is just presenting that to those kids that are unfortunate. Because you may have Bob over here where his mom is like, you need to go do this, A, B, C, and D, and you know, she's involved in the school, so she knows everything that the school is offering so that he can have a holistic, you know, he can be successful holistically once he leaves high school. But then you have, you know, David over here whose parents are involved, you know, the school has it in place, but it's just like, who's really pushing him? And so I think as a school system, as a teacher community, pushing those students, especially the minorities.
So in my mind, like, I would like to see kids who were more interested in becoming who they want to become, right? Like working on the person more than being like flashy, but working on who you are. Like, what do you think kids should focus on in high school and middle school?
Definitely that aspect. And I think because media is playing such a big role in this generation, I think the kids now, it's like there is no self-identity. It's almost like, who can I relate to? Can I relate to the Rihannas or the Cardi B's or the Migos? Like I see Migos and Cardi B's every day at school. Like they're right there walking past me, and so I just And so I'm like, the biggest thing I think is just taking that young adolescent stage and, like you said, just finding like who you are, like. Because one thing that I tell my students is life is going to move so fast.
For sure.
And so take this opportunity, this fundamental stage to really develop, because you don't want to miss out on that development. And then when you get to the point where you're supposed to be developed or, at a certain place, you're not there.
Yeah. But how do you as a teacher feel like they're doing that in the school system? Are they really pushing you to figure out who you are? Are they pushing you to make that happen? Or you don't really see that the students really pushing you to, like speak life into them, or, I do it every day because that's just who I am. Yeah.
And I think sometimes we have to just sow seeds and then let God do the watering, because
sow seeds. No, don't go past it. You gotta sow seeds and let God do the watering. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Well, my pastor actually told me that. Pastor Gabe actually told me.
Come on, Pastor Gabe.
Yes, and it was so powerful to me because sometimes we are so busy trying to plant the seed, do the watering, and then when we don't see the fruit, we get so frustrated and so overwhelmed that we just kind of give up. But, I've just learned to plant seeds. So, one day I might say, you can do it.
So you being young, because I also feel like when I was in school, all my teachers were like my parents' age. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, they were,
definitely.
But like how you blend in with some of the girls there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like, blend in. Blend in.
Blend in.
They look older than me. I mean, in college, like, I look like a baby. I look young. I mean, I'm older, but I still look young. I still have that baby face. And so I've been mistaken so many times as like, oh, you over here? Like, you a student here?
Who's your homeroom teacher?
I literally had teachers say like, Miss Lady, you need to get to class. And I'm like, I work here. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I definitely blend in. Like, I mean, camouflage.
So how do you like make sure you're still respected and revered in that way, right? Because although you do blend in, you still are a teacher, right?
Yeah, I think just having that presence, carrying that authority, just in the way that I carry myself. And I think a lot of times that's helped as far as just appearance wise, as far as blending in, but just trying to carry that authority of respect and that I'm here for a purpose. So and my attire too, not being so. I have to really be strategic.
Like me, I'm pretty much powered by faith. right? And I'm not someone who like is a Bible toting, beat you over the head with it, but that is a big part of my life, is my faith in God. And so I know you are as well. I know you know, you know. So how do you then moderate, monitor, whatever in the school system? Because everybody might not have the same faith as you, whatever. Like, you know, how does spirituality play a piece? I know it's a big part of your life, and it's probably a big part of your mentorship. So how do you balance that with the school system?
The way that I balance it is, I think, making sure that I'm spiritually sound. Mm-hmm. So I carry that in the room, whether I open my mouth or not. And so it just exudes, you know, the love of God. I try to carry the love of Christ by loving all people and letting his love, you know, for me, exude to other people. And so they're like, oh my God, she's really nice. But they don't even know that's just the love of God. And then when you love God and you give your life to God, there's just a glory that comes over your life. And there's just a beauty that comes over your life. And people are like, wow, and they're in awe, but they don't understand what it is, whether they're a Christian or not. And so sometimes, you know, I may throw it out there, you know, depending upon like what it is, but a lot of times I just make sure that I'm spiritually sound. So before I go in my classroom, you know, I'm praying, I'm worshiping, I'll play, you know, worship music. I'll pray in my classroom, like in the morning. Like I'll pray in the classroom, and this is a good one that I do. Like I'll play worship music, but it's the instrumental. So there's not words
for sure
going forward, so I'm still being respectful.
But you still feel that spirit.
Yeah, you still are just filling the room with worship. And so those students that are open to it, I definitely like grab a hold and I'm like, come on, let's pray. But you know, I do have some Hebrew Israelites in my classroom, and so I have to be very careful. And I have other religions as well, Catholic. Yeah. So it definitely is a challenge, and it's a big controversial topic. So
I have two final questions for you.
Yes. Okay,
so the first one, you can answer this now. What would you tell high school Mallory?
Oh God. That's a tough one. Oh my God. Man, I would definitely tell high school Mallory that it's okay not to fit in. It's okay to, you know, be who you really want to be. I knew at a young age that I had a call in my life, but I was so caught up in like being popular, and I was. Yeah. I was very popular. I was homecoming queen, prom queen, everything you can imagine. I was that girl in high school. But I think if I just went back and did it again, like I probably wouldn't even like pursue those things. Like it's important. It was a great accomplishment. But I think I would have just told her to just, it's okay to not fit in. Like, it's okay to not be with the pretty girl crew. It's okay to not, you know, date the star basketball player. It's okay, you know,
for sure.
Because I loved all people, but it's just like certain people you were reserved because it was just like, oh no, you know, it wasn't it. So that's definitely what I would tell my high school self.
What do you want to tell that teacher, and who is that teacher that like really changed you? Like, who is that teacher?
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. In high school, I would have to say, and she wasn't a teacher, but she was a counselor.
Okay.
Miss Renee Stegall. She came my senior year, and she really just took me under her wing. And I think her and Miss Bonner were the reasons that I kind of got into education. Both African American women, and Miss Shivers. Those were like the top three: Miss Shivers, Miss Stegall, and Miss Bonner, or Miss Denson then. But yeah, like they really like just pushed me, brought out the best in me. They told me like, you know, like I remember Miss Shivers always saying like, girl, don't worry about the haters. You just got to keep doing what you're doing, be confident, be strong, be bold. And Miss Bonner saying like, girl, you got this, like even to this day. And so I think just having that that motivation from someone that looked like me was so important.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed Mal. If you did, leave a comment. Hope you enjoyed me and Mal. If you did, leave a comment.
Yes.
Like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and we'll see you for the next time.